For Magic to use that tone with that level of harshness tells me he was incredibly agitated by what Anthony Edwards said. This idea that nobody back then was athletic, that nobody could jump, it makes you stop and ask, what game are you watching? Look, you can't attack the old school guys if you haven't done your homework. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird spent years battling each other. It was a war, not just a game. They fought in college, they clashed in the finals, and they pushed each other beyond all known limits. But out of all that fire and competition, a deep respect was forged. Something almost like a brotherhood. So when Anthony Edwards said what he said, that players from that era weren't athletic, that the game was boring, and that legends couldn't hang with today's stars, it wasn't just another casual hot take. That was a direct shot at Larry Bird. And the moment that happened, Magic Johnson's entire energy shifted. Stephen A. Smith has been around Magic for over 30 years. He's seen him handle business deals, media storms, and all kinds of drama. And always with that same easy smile and smooth confidence. That's why Stephen A. focused not just on what Magic said, but how he said it. Because highly agitated is a phrase you almost never hear used to describe Magic Johnson. For him to take that tone tells you everything. It shows just how bothered he was by Edwards' comments. Usually, Magic is far more diplomatic, much more politically correct, at least in public. But this was different. He's a man known for his composure, for staying cool no matter the circumstances. The man shakes hands after crushing defeats. But somehow, Anthony Edwards managed to get under his skin. Not with his play, but with his words. And it was targeted. Edwards didn't just call out a generation. He went right after Bird. And here's the key. If you're going after Bird, you have to go through Magic first. To get why this hit so hard, you have to see what Bird is to Magic. He's not just a rival or competition, he's the other half of the story that literally rescued the NBA. Magic broke it down himself on First Take. He said he and Larry Bird knew what they had to do. He knew his role for Indiana State, and Magic knew his for Michigan State. He said they put the madness in March, then came to the NBA and changed it forever because they brought something different. Both of them introduced a new style, and they did it while playing for two of the most historic teams in sports. And let's be clear, this isn't nostalgia. Before they arrived, the NBA Finals were on tape delay because not enough people cared to watch them live. That's how far the league had fallen. Then, two guys from the Midwest showed up and changed everything. They had completely different styles, but they had one massive shared impact. Lakers versus Celtics, Showtime versus Grit, and fundamentals. They didn't just play for those teams, they rebuilt them into global icons. Every single player today, including Anthony Edwards, is playing on a stage that Magic and Bird built. And if you appreciate breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button. Now, Edwards calls that stage boring. This isn't just about defending an era. Notice, Magic isn't even really defending himself. He is standing up for Larry Bird, the same Bird who didn't rely on elite speed or a 40-inch vertical, but dominated everyone with skill, intelligence, and terrifying competitiveness. Bird proved that basketball has never been just about athleticism. And when Edwards dismisses that entire era, he's dismissing the very qualities that made Bird a legend. Then Magic went on a podcast, and this time, the filter was completely off. There was no soft tone, just a direct message. Honestly, it sounded less like a response and more like a clear warning. He was asked about Anthony Edwards and the comments he made a while back, the things he had to say about the old school heads. And Magic's response was blunt. He said, "You youngsters, y'all better understand. Just chill out with that." Then he added, "You're gonna run up on one of these old heads and get handled." A straight up warning. Coming from Magic Johnson, a man who built a global brand on positivity and respect, that just hits different. And the wild thing is, he wasn't finished. When Edwards doubled down on his claim, saying no one from that era was athletic, Magic didn't even hesitate. He started firing off names like he was reading a list of charges in court. He recalled the comment, "Oh, they ain't nobody athletic ever been in a league, and nobody could jump." Magic's reaction? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you talking about? Don't attack all the old school guys when you haven't done your homework. First of all, there have been athletic guys. First of all, Michael Jordan. Yeah. Dr. J. Yeah. Kobe, Clyde Drexler, I can keep going. A lot of guys. David Thompson, even before all of them, Jordan, Dr. J, Kobe, Clyde Drexler, David Thompson, every name was a counterpunch. But here's what was truly brilliant. Magic never even mentioned Bird's name in that list. And that was on purpose. He didn't need to. Bird's greatness wasn't about jumping high. It was about winning. And that's exactly where Magic's argument stung the most. No championships for Edwards at any level. Not in college, maybe not even high school, and yet he's out here judging legends. This is where it got uncomfortable for Edwards supporters. Bird won 3 MVPs in a row, got 3 championships, and made 5 finals appearances, all without being an elite athlete. Edwards talked about physical gifts. Bird dominated with skill, precision, and a mindset that simply refused to lose. And let's be clear, Bird talked a big game, but he always backed it up. Magic Johnson knows this better than anyone because he lived it. He went toe-to-toe with Bird for years, feeling that intensity every single game. So when a player without a championship on his resume dismisses that era, it doesn't just ring hollow, it's disrespectful. Magic didn't take it personally for himself. He took it personally for Larry Bird. As he put it, I'll answer his questions when he wins some championships. But he's right. Edwards is maybe the most exciting player to watch in the league today. If you're ranking pure entertainment, you've got Anthony, you have Ja, and of course you have Kyrie. Those are the 3 guys who can just put on a show. And even with all this tension, Magic still gave Edwards his due, and that says a lot. Calling him the most exciting player in the NBA is no small compliment coming from a guy who played with Kareem, battled Bird, and watched Michael Jordan redefine the game. Praise like that carries serious weight. Magic sees the talent, but what he doesn't see is the resume or the credibility to back up that level of trash talk. And this is where the story took another turn. Magic shared a private moment, something that wasn't for the cameras, a conversation with Michael Jordan in Europe. Just 2 legends talking shop. He said, I was with Michael Jordan, not last summer, the summer before. We ran into each other in Europe, and he says, I don't know why these guys. Because if you look at his record, he played almost every single game, like 5 or 6 seasons in his career. He didn't miss a single game. He played every night. We wanted to play every night. And Jordan apparently questioned why so many modern players sit out games. We're talking about a player who showed up every night, no excuses. Bird had that exact same mentality, playing through injuries, pushing his body to its absolute limit, always showing up. That wasn't special back then. It was the standard. It was just expected. Magic even told this incredible story from his own career that sounds almost made up. Pat Riley or his trainer Gary Vitti had to tell him, no. Do not put on your uniform. Do not come sit on that bench because we know you'll try to play. You want to be out there for your guys. They literally made him wear a t-shirt. They wouldn't let him put his uniform on when he was too hurt to be in the game because they knew he would tear the damn jersey off and check himself in. Think about that. His own trainer had to hide his jersey just to stop him from playing hurt. That level of obsession isn't something you learn in practice. It's something deeper. Bird had it, Jordan had it, but still, not everyone saw it Magic's way. Gilbert Arenas chimed in on his show, Gil's Arena, and he offered a totally different take. My Ferrari is faster than yours. Yeah, yours was top of the line in the 80s. But if we race today, the governance has changed, the wheels have changed, the brakes have changed. So my car is naturally just faster than yours. He argued that training, nutrition, and the game itself have all evolved. And look, on the surface, that makes some sense. But the pushback was immediate, even from the guys on his own panel. Study the game. That line kept coming up because Gil's argument missed a huge piece of the puzzle. Guys like Kevin Garnett heard that and they were like, hold up. There was a ton of real skill back then. If you're going to be a student of the game, then actually study it. Don't just dismiss what came before. Just because the equipment gets better doesn't mean the older generation couldn't compete. A faster car doesn't mean the old driver didn't know how to handle the road or lacked the toughness to finish the race after a crash. And Larry Bird played through pain that would sideline most guys today for half a season. That's not about better shoes or sports science. That's about the guy behind the wheel. And right now, the drivers today aren't always measuring up. Magic brought it all full circle on Byron Scott's podcast. And what he said next wasn't just a take, it was a warning. It's still about one thing, and that's winning. Winning no matter what. Look at the state of the game right now. You mentioned the 40% decline in viewership, right? Where is it going? And that's number one. And number two, how do we get it back? This sounded like a wake-up call the entire league needs to hear. 40%. That's a huge number, and it points to the NBA losing its audience. Magic is tying that drop directly to this new attitude. When highlights become more important than a legacy, when resting becomes normal, and when young stars dismiss the very legends who built the league, fans see that, and they start to tune out. He said, show respect. That's all. Just show respect. I don't ever want to go at anybody. That's not who I am. But if you're going to attack us like, oh, the game wasn't as high flying or exciting, then I have to come back. But I'm still a fan and I'll still watch him because I love his attitude. I love his smile. But here's the part of the story that really cuts deep. The part people don't want to talk about. The players Magic is defending paid a price this generation doesn't seem to grasp. Bird's body didn't just get old, it completely broke down on him. His career ended because he physically gave it all, not because he lost his drive. Magic's own path took a turn that changed his life far beyond basketball, and Jordan, his obsession with winning cost him relationships and personal peace. These guys didn't just play basketball, they sacrificed everything for it. Their bodies, their peace of mind, their health, it was all on the table. So when a young player with 0 championships dismisses that sacrifice because he thinks he can jump higher, it shows a massive disconnect. It isn't just a bad opinion. It shows he doesn't understand the true cost of greatness. And that right there is why it stings so much. So why did Magic Johnson react that way? It wasn't about him. It was about defending Larry Bird, the guy who wasn't the fastest or the strongest, but still dictated the game with pure basketball IQ and an insane will to win. Magic spent a decade at war with that man on the court, trying to top him and often fell short. So he knows firsthand what Bird was about. And because of that, he's not about to let a player without a championship to his name try and rewrite that history. This isn't Magic Johnson being stuck in the past. This is a guy who walked through the fire with Larry Bird, forged a respect through that insane rivalry, and built something deeper than most of us can even imagine. Their rivalry wasn't just entertaining. It reshaped the entire sport. College basketball, the Bachelor of Arts, even the way we watch games on TV. Everything changed because of them. That is the very foundation this league is built on. The same league Anthony Edwards is dominating right now, and Magic will defend that legacy every single time. Not for nostalgia, but because that era earned its place. And this is where the story gets bigger, because the league did not stay quiet. Players, analysts, and legends started weighing in, and the debate got heated fast. Some backed Edwards up, saying that's just superstar confidence. But others were not having it, arguing there's a huge difference between confidence and completely dismissing the history of the game. And that gap is getting wider by the day. What makes this whole situation even crazier is the timing. Edwards is a face of the league today. One of the stars expected to carry this game into the next generation. So when a player like that talks, it's not just an opinion, it starts to shape how the fans view the sport. And right now, that message is clashing directly with everything the old school stands for. There's also another dynamic building just beneath the surface. This league is changing faster than ever before. More three-pointers, less physical play, load management, a bigger focus on stats and highlights. And while that brings a new level of excitement, it also creates a deep tension with the past. Because for the legends, the grind and the physical toll every night were the core of basketball. That wasn't a choice. It was the entire job. And now you have two different eras looking at each other with two different ideas of what greatness even means. One side values toughness, durability, and winning above all else. The other is built on skill, speed, and entertainment. Neither one of them is totally wrong. But when the respect between them disappears, that's where the problems really begin. It's why this feels bigger than just one comment. It's not just Anthony Edwards versus Magic Johnson. This is a spotlight on a growing fracture inside the sport itself. And if that fracture widens, the debate won't just be about who is better. It'll be about what this game is even supposed to be about in the first place. And now it all leads to this very moment. This has gone beyond one comment or one player's reaction. This is about legacy, respect, and what the game of basketball truly represents. Magic Johnson has made his position clear. He is not going to let anybody rewrite that history, especially not Larry Bird's. And whether you agree with him or not, one thing is certain. This debate is not going away. Anthony Edwards has all the talent in the world, but moments just like this are what define a player's legacy beyond the box score. Because this game isn't just about how high you can jump or how fast you can run. It is about what you build, what you win, and who you respect while you do it. And right now, that spotlight is on him. So I have to ask you, was Magic right to check him? Or is this just the new generation making their voice heard? Drop what you think in the comments. I really want to hear your take on this. If you enjoyed this, do us a favor and hit like, subscribe, and share this with somebody who needs to see it. And stick around because we're always breaking down stories just like this. We'll see you on the next one.